I'm kicking him off the podcast. Welcome back to Him, Her, and the Internet, the podcast where I give you dating advice and react to your crazy dating stories, even though I probably shouldn't be. You guys all requested I kick my husband off the podcast, so I took your guys' request and I'm kicking him off the podcast. Just kidding. Luke is still going to be part of the podcast. He got emergency dental surgery the other day. Unfortunately, his mouth is really hurting, so he's not going to be in this podcast episode. But I feel like this is the perfect podcast episode to do alone because we're going to be doing some girl talk. No mama's boys here. Today I'm going to be reacting to your guys' bad mother-in-law drama stories. I hope you guys went way into detail because I want to know every single juicy detail. To start this off, usually we start off with talking about our experiences in areas like this. I do not have a mother-in-law because unfortunately, if you guys follow us, you know that my husband's parents passed away. I'm sure if you follow us, you know our story, that we have custody of his little brother because of his parents passing away. So I will not be talking anything about my mother-in-law, but I'm excited to get into your guys' mother-in-law stories. And I even got some good DMs from you guys. First, we're gonna do a little recap of my birthday and a Love is Blind recap. I'm completely prepared. I have my bathrobe on, my glasses, probably look like a little rat because I film these after my kids go to bed. Only 12:13 in the morning. I have my water with electrolytes, not sponsored, Sierra Nutrition. I've worked with them in the past, but they literally put me on because it is the best thing I've ever tasted and I've never felt so hydrated. But they're mainly based in Canada, so I think you have to order them online to get them. I have my Greek yogurt, honey, cinnamon, and chocolate chip yogurt bowl. It's not looking too appealing if I'm gonna be honest. If you're new to the podcast, my name is Sage. I've been doing social media for the last 30 years. If you know me, you probably know me as Coffee for Life Sage because that's the name I chose for some reason. I'm 24 and I have 3 kids. I take care of my husband's little brother and then I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, all boys. We're gonna clear this up right now. We're talking about mother-in-law drama and I just wanna say, I do not wanna be categorized as a crazy boy mom because I'm a girl's girl and I run this house, not the boys. My birthday was on Valentine's Day. Today is like a couple of days after that. I had a great birthday. My husband is just having all kinds of issues lately with his teeth. He had a terrible toothache the morning of my birthday and it was so bad to the point where he was having like a migraine. I woke up to the house completely decorated. It was so cute. My husband had to go to the ER because his tooth was hurting so bad. He didn't want to go, believe me, but I forced him because I was like, you're not going to be miserable my entire birthday. I don't know if did dentists do emergency dental? I called a bunch of places, but nowhere was open because it was a Saturday. I made him go to the ER because I knew they'd give him like some kind of something to at least help with the pain for the day. And I was worried it was an infection and you have to have like antibiotics if it's an infection. He went to the ER. I took my toddler to dance class, which I love taking him to his dance class, so it was no problem. And then I wanted to go to Whole Foods because they always have like the cutest little like bakery items. We don't really have like a good bakery where I live. So I went to Whole Foods, picked out a bunch of different little like bakery items and let the kids pick out cupcakes. And that was gonna be the cake for Valentine's night. Went and picked my husband back up. He had to get a shot of Toradol in his butt and he thought it was gonna be like, oh, go to CVS, pick up this antibiotic. No. They gave him a shot in his butt. So yeah. We all met up for lunch at this place that has cheap tacos and a play place. Literally perfect for moms. Then we went home. Luke took the kids out for a little bit and let me kind of be at the house alone, reset. Luke made me lobster, crab legs, and shrimp. It was Valentine's Day, so my teenager had gone on a date with his girlfriend, obviously, but they came to have cake with us, which was like so special because like they want to hang out with me over Valentine's Day. Love it. And we all went to the beach and I forced everyone to take pictures and make TikToks. And I had my big giant ring light out on the beach, so that was fun. The kids went to bed early because we went to the beach and it was just overall a great night. Oh, it's been a great day. I want to do a Love is Blind recap. If you don't watch Love is Blind, if you don't want spoilers, skip to probably like 5 minutes ahead. But I think there's 6 episodes out right now. I could be wrong. I always see this happen on Love is Blind, but if you live alone for a long time, I've never lived alone. I had 6 siblings growing up and then I went to straight moving in with my boyfriend. So I've never lived alone, but my little sister is one of those people that like likes to live alone, be in her own space. And like, she runs out of like being around people, even if it's people she loves. Like, she wants her alone time. I feel like the show, something they do not account for, and especially the girls don't account for, is that the guys, like, or the girls, like, once they get to that honeymoon, everybody gets in this like bad mood where they're not even in a bad mood, but they're just like being quiet, they're not talking, and it has literally nothing to do with the other person. It's just like but they get to the resort and they're like, I don't know, they're like overwhelmed with being with people 24/7. And I do think it's like a big adjustment, especially because they've only been talking to the people, not like physically spending time with them. I don't know, maybe that's a bad take. Let's get into your guys' bad mother-in-law stories. Like I said, I can relate to some of these stories. I'm not gonna talk about it, and there's no reason to talk about it. There was a rumor in high school that I was pregnant, and she cornered me when I came over and told me if I were pregnant, I had to abort the baby because her son is going to Cornell. Why did I immediately think of She's the Man? What is this? Is this the school? Is the school Cornell or is it Cornwall or something weird? I think no matter what, I think guys obviously should be included in the baby's life, but the choice is always up to the mom. Yeah, so I don't like that at all. That was a few months of dating. Fast forward to 6 years later. Girl, I know she hates that you guys are together this long. Like, it's the mother-in-laws. They always think, I think by being mean to you, they're gonna get you to break up. So I know she's pissed over this. Fast forward to 6 years later. With a bunch of horrible things said to me along the way, I saw a text to my now husband, basically begging him not to propose to me. See, this is like, that would piss me off so bad. And a genuine question for anyone, please leave a comment and let me know, because I have a friend who has very bad mother-in-law drama. And if I were her, sometimes I think I would not be able to marry her son. Not because I don't love him, but because I can't put up with this. So let me know if you feel like it's like dealing with this is worth it if her son doesn't cut her off, if it gets to an extreme. Like, if the son's okay with being like, okay, you're right, my mom is insane, we're gonna cut her off, or just I'll have contact with her, but we don't have to see her, you don't have to come to anything, and that he will find someone else in medical school. She then encouraged her older son to propose to his now wife 2 days before mine at my now husband's engagement party. Oh, see, why is it with the mother-in-laws that are bad to one girl, they're like so nice to the other son's girlfriend or wife? Like this, I always see this happening. What is going on? Is it just because like one will like do whatever she says? Or they're like that other son and her like do everything with the mom? Like, and this really confuses me, but I do see this a lot. It's so weird, but that would, let's hope he didn't listen. Continued to introduce me as his girlfriend for our 3-year engagement. Now that would piss me off. My husband and I have now been together for 15 years this Valentine's Day. Oh, so sweet. See, this is what, like, does she still call you like his little girlfriend or something? We have 2 beautiful children that my mother-in-law does not respect my parenting rules. When we did baby-led weaning with my first, she tried to give my daughter broccoli from Chinese takeout. Told her it was not soft enough for her to eat, so I said no. I leave the room for a second and come back to her literally shoving the broccoli in my daughter's mouth. I freaked out and she was like, "What's the big deal? I'm a PICU doctor." By the way, she's a PICU doctor, which means you would think that would make her nurturing and great with kids, but you would be wrong. Oh, see, that scares me because I always think about this. I always think these people in like kids' positions are so loving and kind, and when they're not, I'm genuinely shocked. Like, why are you working with kids if you hate them? Something I've learned after having a 3rd kid is sometimes with grandparents, obviously if they're not overbearing and crazy like it sounds like your mother-in-law is, please do not think I'm defending her, but like something I've learned about, like, not the broccoli situation, no, just like different approach, because I feel like when I was pregnant with my first son, I was crazy. I had like a giant list of rules and I was like so stressed. I made sure everybody followed these rules. When I went home from the hospital after giving birth, I literally sent a text to both sides of our family with these rules, and it was like 15 pages. Like, maybe I can find it. I think I still have it in my notes. After having my 3rd, I've just realized, like, I really think grandparents' houses are for your kids to to have a sweet treat, to do things, as long as they're doing it in a loving way, not in a like, I'm just doing this because you told me I can't. So she said I was overreacting because she knows CPRs. Like, if you know the kid's gonna choke, it's like, oh, I know he's gonna choke, but I know CPR. Like, no, we're not trying to do CPR. His father and younger sister idolize the deranged woman and think she walks on water and can do no wrong, but she's absolutely insane. I feel like I'm somebody, I sense people are insane before other people do. But also, I think family members in situations like this, because I've known and seen family in this situation, it's like everyone else is so used to their bad behavior and they've grown up or been around this bad behavior for so many years. It's just like, oh, that's how my mom is. But it's like not excusable and shouldn't be excusable like that. Whatever you get, I feel like you should be calling people out on this. And not you, like your husband should be calling her out on this. If she does something I don't like, I tell my husband privately, he can deal with it because respectfully, that's his mom. I agree with this. You should not be handling these battles. This is your husband's battle to handle. Apparently, to my in-laws, that's me talking about her behind her back and being disrespectful. Having a conversation with my husband about boundaries with his mother is disrespectful. So many bizarre things have been said to me in the past 15 years. I feel like in this situation, I know this isn't like an advice podcast, but like if I were to give advice, in this situation, I would sit down and tell my husband, hey, if you want to see your mom, if you want her to be included in our life, that is great. But all communication, all plans being made, everything is going to go through you because I genuinely cannot put up with this. If she wants to attend our family things like birthday parties, it can be in a group setting, but I'm not going to be doing stuff one-on-one with her and the kids. I mean, unless you want to hang out with her, but it doesn't sound like she's too enjoyable to hang out with. She literally got mad at me because I didn't want my daughter staying the night with her, and not just that, she wanted to go to a party with her, and she's only a year old. It's been almost a month, and we're still on bad terms. I have so many thoughts about this. I do not let my children sleep at anyone's house. My parents are great grandparents. Like, they are the best grandparents. They are the most included. But aside from when I give birth, my children are not sleeping over at people's houses. And this is not because I don't think anyone's fit for it, but like my kids, horrible sleepers. When my baby was 1 month old, no, or 1 year old, no. My 3-year-old, I could see him eventually, he loves my parents so much, I could see him saying or expressing that he wanted to have a sleepover. Like if he expressed that, different story. And I think it is so weird when grandparents specifically push sleepovers. I feel like the grandparents that want to take kids to things are so pushy about like taking them to things that you don't come to. It's like they want to be the mom. Like, no, you are not the mom. Like, can I come to the party? And then I'll take her home. That's what I would offer. But I would, even if she's mad, keep the firm boundary because that is weird and I don't like that. And I don't like when people are pushy about your kids. It's like, if I say no, it's no and it's move on. When I was 34 weeks pregnant, my mother-in-law decided that I was going to host Thanksgiving for 17 people at my house. Why? The last 10 weeks of pregnancy are miserable. You don't want to do anything. You are literally pissed off at all times. You can barely move. You don't want to do everything. I don't know if all women experience this, but something about my pregnancies that I've experienced is severe exhaustion in the first trimester and the last 10 weeks. I would want to host this, but if someone was telling me I was going to host this, why are you telling me what I'm going to do? I'm confused. And 17 people, I told her I didn't feel good and wanted to keep the house clean for the baby coming. Oh, that's another thing I didn't think about. Like once you're 34 weeks, you can have the baby anytime and emergency things happen. By the time, when I hit 30 weeks, I deep clean the house every single day. Like I'm crazy about it because when I come home from the hospital, I will not be coming home to a messy house. But she insisted and said it was going to be easy. They ended up inviting people I never met. Girl, I want to know the living situation. Like, do you live with them? I'm confused why or do you have like a nicer house and she wants to like host at your house? Like, I want to know the living situation because why is she inviting people to your house and leaving the house a mess? Oh, see, I would have understood if you have a nice house and she was like, okay, I want to host this at your house because you have a nice house, and like that's different. Maybe she brings all the food, she decorates, she cleans up. You don't even have to be there if that's the case. But like, no, that's crazy. I would be making my husband clean up that entire mess if I were you, because that's his mom, not my problem. Oh, then for Christmas when I was 37, don't tell me she made you host something else. At 37 weeks pregnant. Girl, she's gonna send you into labor. She guilted me and my husband into driving 2 hours to celebrate. See, I feel like maybe this is your first baby. If I'm wrong, sorry. But before I had kids, I was the biggest people pleaser and the biggest pushover. I'm not saying you're a pushover. I'm sorry, okay, I promise. I worked until the day my water broke while I was at work. And I shouldn't have been doing that. I was a people pleaser, but once you have kids, I feel like it's so much easier. You get this like toughness where you just finally, if you're a people pleaser, like I felt this new confidence where I'm like, I have to set boundaries. I have to let people know what is not okay, what I'm not capable of. There is a lot of times I have to tell people no to things I even want to do because I just know I'm not gonna be able to take 2 toddlers, get a teenage boy, and my husband out of the house to go do this. If I were you, I would tell your husband, if you're not feeling these things, like, hey, you need to tell your mom we said no. Not you said no, we said no, because you should not be going anywhere 37 weeks pregnant. I kept saying I didn't feel well, but she said I wouldn't have the baby for a couple more weeks. The day after we celebrated Christmas, I had to... No, I just looked ahead. I can't even finish the story. The day after we celebrated Christmas, I had to have an emergency induction for my severe preeclampsia. Since then, I've listened to my body. Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. When you are pregnant, from literally 33 weeks to 40 weeks, you just need to rest. And like, if you have the luxury of that, I know not everyone's in that situation. Like I said, I literally had to work until I was 40 weeks pregnant. You need to be resting because you don't know what can happen. And like, if you feel exhausted, your body is telling you something. Like your mother-in-law who's had kids, not taking that seriously is so scary. Preeclampsia is like my biggest fear. I really hope you're okay, and I hope the baby's here. I don't know when this happened. If you've had your baby, please tell me. Send me a DM. My mother-in-law got a tummy tuck, and my husband and I went over to visit after surgery. Once we got there, we could tell she was still a little loopy. She proceeds to stand up and show us the results / incision, which I didn't care to see anyway. But without realizing, she pulled her underwear basically all the way down and had front row seats to my mother-in-law's we'll say hoo-ha. To say that was the last thing I expected to see that day when we went over was an understatement. Definitely one of those moments I certainly want to erase from my memory forever. That's funny. This one was horror, mother-in-law. That kind of is a horror. My boyfriend's mom is in love with her own son. Ugh. See, I know I'm a boy mom, but I'm not a toxic boy mom. Ow, my ear hurts. Or extremely codependent, in other words. Hate men like that. Like, my goal, sorry, my ear is killing me. My goal is to raise my sons to be good husbands, not to depend on me their whole life. Like my 3-year-old can cook an entire meal by himself. So those moms that I see that like have 30-year-old kids and they're still making their food for them? No. For context, his parents divorced. Okay, interjection. Sorry, I'm making so many comments. Luke likes me to get all the way through the stories before we comment, but this is my alone podcast tonight. I hate mother-in-laws that don't have a husband and they treat their son as the husband. Literally, that becomes like they're dependent. I don't know, it's so weird to me. I know so many guys like this. Parents divorced shortly after he was born and his dad got remarried to a lovely lady while his mom has remained single. For 20 plus years, he goes back and forth between their houses and has a good relationship with both his mother, but his mother is so overbearing with constantly tracking him, asking him to do any and every small task for her, etc. I met her 2 years ago when we started dating, and she made it known immediately that she wasn't going to like me. She complained the entire time, ignored me, and any attempt at making conversation, she would shoot me down. I don't understand when moms act like this, because if you truly like love your son, why are you not trying to like his girlfriend? Because realistically, like, if he's gonna get married to you, she should want a good relationship with you, or she could be cut off. Like, I'm not getting it. As an all-boy mom, obviously I'm obsessed with my boys. I love my boys, but like my dream is like to have a girl, because sometimes I just want to do girly things. So it's like I want a person to do girly things with. So why are we not making friends with the girlfriends? Plus, if you act like that immediately when you meet the girlfriend, it's like, why, as the girlfriend, would you ever put any effort into even being nice to the mother? Like, in my opinion, if that was me, I like would put no effort into even trying to be nice to you, because you're not being nice to me right off the bat. It's been quite some time and we both dislike each other. And I'd be lying if I said this doesn't affect my relationship with my boyfriend. It definitely does, because especially if you guys are younger, I don't know, I don't want to say I relate to this, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I kind of relate to this of when I was younger with Luke. I've been in some situations where like I felt like if I ever said anything to Luke about it when we were younger, obviously he was going to feel some type of way and feel upset, or vice versa. Like, I would feel upset if he said something bad about my family, especially when I was younger and we were in like a married kids dynamic. If you're still living at home, like, it's really hard to just be like, okay, you're right, I'm going to cut off my mom. Plus, he probably feels a little bit codependent on his mom if his mom's been treating him like he's her husband for the last 20 years. He told me she's tried to talk bad about me, and when I ask his response or if he stands up for me, he subtly says yes, but I know he's a people pleaser and being from the South lets his parents walk all over him, but calls it being respectful. Ugh, hate this. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is like could be means for breaking up, not because you don't love your boyfriend, but because can you put up with, like, think about your future life, and if you had kids, could you put up with someone acting like this? Because I don't know. I would tell your boyfriend, like, obviously if he lives at home, this is the thing, you guys are still young, I think, because I think you said you guys are 20. If you guys still live at home, or he still lives at home with his mom, it's like, obviously he can't cut off his mom. Obviously he can't get in some huge argument with his mom, you know, because he lives with her. But I would have a talk with him on, like, if your mom's talking bad about me, like, just shut it down. I can't help and think how things would be at our wedding. Oh, are you guys engaged? I have to think about, like, if his mom is going to be included in your guys' future life, like once he moves out, if he's still living with her. Can I put up with this for the rest of my life? If you really don't think he would cut her off, and especially if he's kind of like been in the situation where he's acted as like a husband, and he's probably also a little bit codependent on her because of that. When I have kids, and even his graduation that's coming up, yep, I can't stand the thought of being in the same room with her. I'd avoid it if I were you. She's so childish, and I've tried countless times to get to know her or show her that I care, and she never reciprocates. A little bit of advice, I wouldn't try. I'm not trying to like say that's rude, but I would even tell your boyfriend, like, I love you, I want to spend as much time as possible with you, but I don't want to spend time with your mom, and I don't want to try to have a relationship with your mom until I feel like she will reciprocate that, or until she reaches out to me first. I refer to her as my monster-in-law. For the first year of my husband and I's relationship, she called me his ex-girlfriend's name and said it was because she missed her and the time they spent together. See, this is another thing I cannot stand, is when the mother-in-law like loved their ex-girlfriend and they keep bringing it up to you. Like, even if you want to have a relationship with the ex-girlfriend, okay, fine, don't tell me about it, that's not my friend. Pretty sure she was still in contact with her. And see, again, like, a little weird, especially if she's inviting, like, I would be pissed if she invited her to anything that my husband was included with. But if it's like just her and the ex-girlfriend want to have a relationship and once a month they go get lunch, okay, whatever. Don't tell me about it. Don't tell my husband about it. When we got married, we saved costs by using his aunt's property. My mother-in-law refused to come. She declined the wedding invitation before it was sent out, then was mad I didn't make the effort to come see her the day of. Now, see, right then and there, I would have told my husband, I'm calling off the wedding if you don't cut your mom off. What do you mean she's not going to your wedding? She's now very ill with alcohol addiction, and her 2 children, and also a few grandchildren, have gone no contact due to her constant verbal abuse to myself, my husband, and her daughter, my sister-in-law. I think you said you've gone no contact. I think that's very good. You cannot enable someone with addiction, and I think in a lot of situations like that, kids tend to enable their parents. And so I think if you guys cut her off, this is great. She needs to figure it out. Maybe she'll recover from addiction and she will realize, hey, I've been a nasty B word the last couple years. I'm gonna apologize to everybody and we can move on. When I was pregnant with our first baby, my mother-in-law told me that she was actually her spirit baby. So funny. And I am the vessel bringing them into the world. Oh, that's hilarious. She said, I knew I was going to be pregnant soon because she, our baby, came to her in her dreams to introduce herself to her grandma. Oh my gosh. Yeah, specific words, grandma, not your baby. I feel like you're going to have the baby and she's going to call her her baby probably. I'd watch her around the kids. This one has like literal act out scene of what happened, so we're gonna act it out. First big holiday with my future in-laws. I'm nervous but trying. I bring a side dish, flowers, and even a little gift. Great, love it. The moment we walk in, his mom hugs him, ignores me, and says, I was starting to think you weren't coming. You used to love spending holidays with just us. I love how she emphasized just us. Cool, fantastic start. I offer to help in the kitchen and she hits me with, no, you're a guest. But in that tone where you know she's going to tell everyone later that I didn't lift a finger. This is another thing I hate. It's like, I don't want to just be sitting around while my husband is at like his childhood home. Let me do something, please. Especially if there's no kids around. If there's kids around, I'm like all day, especially before I had my own kids, will be down to be the one hanging out with the kids. 5 minutes later, she says loudly, I've just been cooking all by myself all day. Oh, honestly, me when my husband isn't doing what I want him to. Keeps correcting everything I say about him. When the mom tries to one-up you, I'm crying. Me. He loves mashed potatoes. Her. He actually doesn't. Him. Literally eating mashed potatoes. Then she brings up his ex, fake name, not once, not twice, but multiple times. What is it with these moms and the ex-girlfriends? Sarah used to make this for him. Sarah was always so close with the family. Sarah still calls me sometimes. Ma'am, congratulations to Sarah. So funny how she wrote it. The cherry on top, when we were leaving, she hugs him again and whispers, not quietly, you can always come home. Were you guys living together? I smiled the whole time, but in the car, I just stared out the window like I was in a music video. Girl, the way I would have laughed in this woman's face was hilarious. I'm so sorry you went through that. I hope you guys don't have to see them often. This is one about postpartum, and I feel like mother-in-laws are so overbearing and rude and inconsiderate when their daughter-in-laws are postpartum, and I do not understand it because they've had kids before, and they should remember how weird and just like uncomfortable. You're literally in diapers most of the time. When I'm postpartum, I'm walking around like without a bra because I'm breastfeeding 24/7. I just have like a robe on. I don't have makeup. My hair is greasy. Like, not a time you want people to come to your house. My mother-in-law wants me while I am freshly postpartum to drive 4-ish hours to her house so she can show off my newborn and pass them around. While I will just want to wait a few months before making a trip like that, and my man agrees with his mom, we should let her see them right away. She made me do it with my son at 4 weeks old, and I was so uncomfortable with it and nobody cared, and my son had just come out of the NICU. At the time, I just wanted alone time with the baby, but according to people, it's just inappropriate to want to just heal and take care of my baby. Plus, I was pumping all the time and nobody would let me have alone time with my son to pump because it was baby scene time. It was one of the many reasons I had postpartum depression really bad this time. I plan on trying to force my way and actually get privacy and alone time after giving birth, and my father-in-law is a whole other drama story as well. Okay, this is really sad to me that your husband is not standing up for you on this, and you need to have a serious talk with him, because men, most of the time, don't understand this. My husband has not done great at a lot of things. I'm sure you guys know, you love to call them out. But one thing my husband has done great at, and I think it's because like we did a class before I gave birth the first time about birth, what he can do to support me during birth, what he can do to support me postpartum. And I don't know if it changed his mindset, but like he knew nothing about having kids. His mom wasn't like one of those moms that talks about her birth all the time, talks about her birth stories, was super into it, anything like that. And they don't teach people in school, they don't really teach kids that much about women giving birth, and especially about postpartum. And so you need to have a sit down talk with your husband. Maybe taking one of those birth classes would be really helpful if you haven't given birth yet, but like your husband needs to understand how uncomfortable postpartum is for you and how important it is for your baby to have that alone time with you in the first couple weeks or even months. You do not need to be leaving the house. If your mother-in-law wants to see the baby right away, she can travel to you guys. That would be the rule I would set. I would say that. I would say, if you guys want to come see the baby and help, that would be great. If you want that, maybe you don't even want that. You guys can come to the house, you can help us with food, you can help us with cleaning, you can help us with our other kid. I think you said you have another kid, but I am not leaving my house for at least 2 months. That's what I would say if I were you. My sister's mother-in-law and father-in-law are both a nightmare, especially the father-in-law. He has spit on my sister, spit? What do you mean spit? Spread rumors about her and all kinds of other things. But there was one time she and her boyfriend had broken up, and at the time my sister worked with his aunt, who was the only person on her side at the time, and she doesn't really talk to the side of the family that much. But they had texted the aunt and told her to fire my sister. Because she had broken up with her son. The aunt lied and said she didn't have authority. The truth is she was on my sister's side, and my sister was the best employee she ever had. They have since gotten back together, but she doesn't have anything to do with his parents. Okay, what do you mean he spit on you? Glad you don't have anything to do with his parents. He sounds like he comes from a very toxic household, and I really hope this is a pattern. The aunt doesn't talk to them that much. It seems like a pattern. They sound crazy. You are a Valley girl. And I just pray that your husband does not follow in any of their crazy toxic behavior, because they sound crazy. That's it for the Him, Her, and the Internet podcast. I'm gonna go watch the new episode of Love is Blind. If you wanna find me on social media, all my social medias are Coffee for Life Sage, except my Instagram is SagePash_. If you like the podcast, please follow on Spotify at Him, Her, and the Internet, or on YouTube at Coffee for Life Sage under the playlist Him, Her, and the Internet. It really helps us if you guys leave a comment and rate the podcast. I know that's asking you guys to do a lot, but it does really help us since we're a new podcast. And leave a comment if you think this should be a solo podcast and my husband should not be returning. If you want to be included in the podcast, every week on my Instagram and TikTok, I will be sharing a new prompt for next week. I've been considering letting you guys ask us anything and we will answer. So let me know if you like that idea. All right, goodbye. I'm going to bed.